Hey everyone, welcome to You Can Cook It. This is Steve. Today I'm going to talk about making a cucumber and kefir salad with tomato. And it's pretty straightforward salad. It's got obviously one of the main ingredients is cucumber. I have some tomato. These are just grape tomatoes I like to cut in half. A little bit of onion, and it's a tiny little sweet onion. And some garlic, salt, pepper, and of course kefir. So for this, it's pretty straightforward and simple. You just simply cut, in my case, because of my tomatoes that I'm using, just cut them in half. Now once I get these all cut in half, throw them in the bowl, get them out of the way. And yes, I'm using my serrated knife for this. And again, I recommend caution when using a serrated knife like this because it's extremely sharp and you will cut off a chunk of finger if you're not cautious. Alright. Next, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my cucumber. The order of operations, I leave the onion for last because I don't want to tear up. The least amount of time you have to deal with a chopped up onion, the better off you are. And if I chop this first, I'll start tearing up right away and it'll just stay because it'll emanate off the cutting board. Alright, next, and again, the proportions that you want are strictly up to you. I don't like necessarily making a recommendation as far as proportions go because everyone's tastes are a little different. Some people like a salty salad, some people like something with a bit more pepper. So it's up to you to find out what level of what you like, how much tomato and such. Now I make several versions of this salad. Some with the tomato, some without, some with other herbs and such that I put in there. And today I just simply have all these ingredients. Now with this salad I like to cut the cucumbers up into a little bit finer size. You can see not too big. What that does is allows you to get a nice big scoop or spoonful. The tomatoes, if you're chopping up a larger tomato, actually I really like Roma tomatoes in this as well. Romas are really good tomatoes for me. Then you can simply chop up your tomato a little bit finer. These grape tomatoes are a little hard to chop up because they start out pretty small initially. And as you can see with my cuke, what I try to do is I try to chop it in a way which gives me the least amount of work. So I cut everything long ways first, and then once I have it cut long ways, it's real easy just to simply dice. Now for me, this centerpiece with all the seeds, a lot of people don't like all the seeds in the salad or it gets kind of moist or whatever. I save this because I just like to chop up a cucumber and eat it. It's a habit I picked up from my sister, the short one that I talked about in one of my previous videos. Alright, so next, my garlic. Easiest way to chop up a piece of garlic and make it nice and fine is start out with the flat side of your knife, edge away from your body, put it over the top of the garlic, use the flat part of your hand, and put your weight into it. Once it's crushed, it's real easy to dice. And then dice it in a couple of different directions. So that way you get a nice, fine... There we go. Mash it again. Goes right in. Alright, next the onion. And again, you don't want a too large a piece of onion. Some people have an aversion to them. Leave it out. So, for this little guy, I'll chop it up into not super small pieces, but fine enough. Here. give you a look, but fine enough to where when it comes apart, you know, you'll taste the onion. Get my fat fingers out of the way. You'll taste the onion in there, but it won't be too overpowering per bite. And the way I like to dice these is against, you know, put the onion up against the side of the ring, chop down first. You can see the layers of the onion in there. Let me see if we can focus. You can see the layers of the onion in there. That's the direction I chop in. And then I cut across the onion. So first chop is in half, then I cut across. Really easy to chop an onion up quick in that manner. If you're going to be doing something with caramelizing onions, this is obviously way too small for that. We'll talk about methods to do that. Next, put this over here. I'm going to throw in a little bit salt and pepper. This is probably going to be about a half a teaspoon, between a half to a whole teaspoon. These days I've been preferring my salt a little bit more salt in my food, a little saltier. And the pepper, you want to be careful with this fresh cracked pepper in this salad. Once the kefir hits it, for some reason it makes it really bright and it floods the salad. It'll overpower everything unless you really like pepper. So for this, you really just need a couple of 2 or 3, 4 or 5 cranks, depending on how much you like. If you like really peppery, what I just put in is typically enough out of one of these little mills. You don't really want too much. And as far as the amount of kefir, do you like a wetter salad or something that's more just simply coating the cukes? Now this is great if you have a rice dish. You want to put a little bit over your rice. Then put a little bit more of the kefir on top so your rice gets a little bit of the kefir as it drains in. A Middle Eastern, so we put a lot of this kind of stuff into our rice dishes. So I'm putting in probably anywhere between, I'd say roughly about 1/3 of a cup for this because I want something a little bit drier. And now, I like to use my hands for everything. It's just who I am. So I'll just give this a mix. What's good about using your fingers in a case like this is it allows you to break apart the onion a little bit. If you do run into a clump of garlic or something like that, it gives you the opportunity to make sure that it doesn't stay a big giant clump. There we go. And just like that, you have a fantastic cucumber, kefir, and tomato salad. Let me give you a nice little peek. You can see I don't have too much of the kefir on there. Again, if I were going to put this over a rice, I'd put a little bit more kefir in there, but me, I'm just going to eat it just like this. This is part of my lunch. And so I don't want it to be too moist. But simple salad, real easy. You'll be seeing all sorts of variants of this salad that I do for various reasons as well. So sometimes when I make a lamb dish, I'll make a side of this. It's very similar to a Greek tzatziki sauce as well. But you know, there's, again, depending on what you're eating, what you want to pair it with. That's, let me get my head into the shot. What you want to pair it with, it's going to be, you know, based off of that and what you may have fresh in the fridge as well. Thanks for watching.